What's happening, everybody? Today we have a unique e-bike. Today it's the Varun X-Plorer Raptor. Now, this is a super interesting bike. When I first saw it, I said I have to have this thing. Like a lot of other ones, innovation is the path to success. And when companies innovate, I am interested in it, and I want to show you guys how they perform. Good or bad, this is what we're looking at. First and foremost, we're going to unbox it and see how it looks. But before I get into anything, I must say that this is the heaviest e-bike I have unboxed yet. This thing weighed a metric ton. Seriously, this thing weighed about 150 pounds, and I had a real tough time getting this up here. In fact, I had to use that right there. I had to use a hand truck in order to get this up and around here. So, let's unbox this. Let's see how it looks. I've only seen this in photos. Okay, same thing on the inside. Oh, there it is in all of its glory. This thing is massive. This has got to be the largest e-bike I've seen yet. Oh, this thing is huge. Okay, there it is unboxed. That's about how far you get it assembled. Here's the tire that comes with it. It's kind of flat, but yeah, let's take it apart. Got a little basket that comes with it. Got the blinkers for the rear, front fender, front blinkers, front headlight, charger book. We'll look at this afterwards. Brochure. Let's get this thing assembled. I like when manufacturers use that seat. More of a moped. Still good to see. What in tarnation is this? Now, that's pretty unique for handlebars. Am I looking at this? What the heck is this? Huh. Wow, look at the battery there. There it is. I'm gonna pump up that tire. Okay, we are mostly assembled, but we have to reconvene tomorrow. So we're gonna bring this inside, charge it up. Since right now it has 3 bars of battery, which is about half. We're gonna charge it up to full, and then once we finish it up, we'll get it on the road and try it. All right, it's a few days later. We have the bike fully set up. Bike came with this nice little tool kit right here, which is super useful to put this together, but I ended up using my same tools. So one thing I did was I put, obviously, here's the light right there. You can see it on right now. And then the blinkers on here. Turn high beams on, low beams on. Pretty cool, pretty cool. The back blinker as well. There you go. There's 2. How cool is that? There's the bike fully built. We're inside right now. We finally have a good weather window right now in order to get outside and give this a try. All right, everybody, in the land of e-bikes, this one is certainly unique. As you can see the way it's shaped and looked, I wouldn't even call this an e-bike. I would pretty much call this e-moped or motorcycle. The way the seat is right here, the way these fenders are, the way this setup is, it's kind of like a cafe racer. If you look at this. So I have a couple gripes with this right now, but we're going to get it on the road first before we go over them. And I think this is more of a street bike. We've got a beautiful day and a great weather window to give this a try. So let's get it on the road, roll it up. First, let's try to start this bad boy up. Now I don't know how this is going to look on the screen. Sometimes it blinks. Okay, there we go. And we're going to start out in 0 just to pedal like we normally would with a regular bike. Okay, let's try it out. Let's see how pedaling normally works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right away, this feels very awkward. Feels like a cafe racer. You can't go any faster than that. That's it. That's all she's got. Gear 6. You can pedal to about 21.5 miles an hour, and that's it. I gotta bring you guys up. Okay. Well, she's not going any more than 21.5 miles an hour while pedaling normally. All right, let's take it up to gear 1. Nothing happens because we're going a little too fast. Gear 2. I feel a little but still nothing. Oh, there's the bumps. Suspension's not bad. 3. Oh, there we go. 15 miles an hour in gear 3. Okay, let's hit the brakes. Okay, it's got a cutoff too. Okay, keep moving forward. There it goes. All right, gear 4. Ooh, a bit faster. A lot faster. Little stop sign right here. There it goes. Slow roll, really nice. 20 miles an hour. All right, gear 5 should hopefully hit about 30. We're going down a hill. This bike is very heavy, so it's very fast. I gotta tilt this up a little bit. I really can't see. We're doing 31. This rolls really well because it's very heavy. Okay, looks like about 23 miles an hour it's locked down to. Again, that's legal limits. Oh, there we go. Nope. 27. So that's with pedal. That's the PAS. We're gonna try next is just the throttle. So let's go up with the throttle up and around here. Let's see how fast this thing goes with just the throttle. 19, 20. All right, it still cuts at 27. This thing feels like a cafe racer. It's so interesting. I got a helmet on, so I don't know how well you can hear me, but yeah, this thing goes 27 and it should cut right there, 28. It does. Okay. It still does 28. Not bad at all. This thing is so strange. It feels like you're in a cafe racer. I'm trying to sit up a little bit, but these handlebars and the way they're situated is very odd. Does good on the bumps. It feels like a little motorcycle. The pedals are there. The pedals are there in spirit, but they don't do anything past 20 miles an hour. We're actually going to pull into here. Give it a shot on a little bit of a harder surface. Okay, I don't want to slip and slide, but let's kind of scoot forward a little bit. The fat tires are definitely interesting. You can see right where I'm going right there. Oh, I still got my left blinker on. Let me kill that. Okay. This is the most ridiculous looking bike I've ever seen, but it's so cool. I do like that. There's something unique about this. I have my gripes right away. So one of the things I've noticed is when you turn, it hits right here. I'll put this down a little bit. Right here, it hits. But as you turn this way, it'll actually smush your fingers right here. Now, I don't know if that's my fault with putting these handlebars too low or something, but it looks like, based on the drawings, that's how that's supposed to be. So yeah, and we hit the horn, which is very interesting. It's not a normal horn. It's just kind of like a speaker that goes off. But yeah, cool. And let's see how much power this thing has. Good power. Not excellent, but good. It's good power. They're trying to stay within the legal limits. It being fat tire does help here too. You can see going through snow. It's only a few inches of snow here, but it works pretty well. So let's get up and out of here. And we're in gear 1, so it's gonna go real slow with the throttle even. Typically, most bikes I've had don't flow with the gear you're in with the throttle. So we're gonna go into 2, you go a little bit faster. You can see that. 12, 3, we're gonna do about 15. 4, we're gonna do about, I'm gonna assume 21, cuts right there. And 5, 27 to 28. The question is, who is this bike for? And that's a great question. I would not choose this bike unless I were a commuter, because the battery in this thing is absolutely massive. It's like 24 amp hours. If you have a 24 amp hour battery and you're commuting with this, I completely understand why you would use this. Up hills leaves a lot to the imagination, you know? And we're gonna try that. We're gonna go up a hill right here. Put my blinker on, and then here we go. So this is full throttle on gear 5 up a hill. See that 10, 11 miles an hour. It's going down. We're going up a pretty good hill, not huge, but you can see without pedal assistance, there's pedaling. Without pedaling assistance, it's okay. It's usable. Basically a moped. For the price, you figure, as you can see in my description below, I'm going to have an affiliate. Use the links to buy. And the important part is you can get a slight discount, but you're still looking under $1,000 for a commuter moped, which you cannot buy with a motor on it, really. I mean, you might be able to, but for the price, and you don't have to do anything but charge it. There's no fluids, there's no maintenance other than brakes and tires. It's a great little unit. Brakes are excellent. They're hydraulic. Gotta use my blinkers next time. Here we go again. You see, it goes pretty good. Going down a hill right now. The shocks are good. They're very basic, but they're good. They're not like bottle shocks. This thing feels really stable. I think when you match the weight of the unit, it gets obvious that it's super stable. But when weight comes up, like we're about to do now, I went up this hill purposely. This is a very, very steep hill. We're gonna see that we're not gonna make it too fast here. We're doing our best. we're barely getting up it. We had some momentum, now we're at the steep part, and we're gonna drop to about 9 miles. Oh, we didn't hit under 10, but still, 9 miles an hour. A little bit of a pedal assist and we're not doing so bad. All right, this thing, 28 miles an hour again. Pretty good, pretty good. It's your standard e-bike. People are gonna think this is a motorcycle. The way it acts feels like a motorcycle. Hey, you got about 20 miles an hour before pedaling actually makes sense. Put that back in top gear. So pedaling assist does help up hills for sure. But with this bike being the weight that it is, don't expect it to be easy to pedal everywhere. Primarily, you're gonna have to use that motor, but the good part is you have this big battery that's gonna last you quite a while. There's no adjustment on the seat for how high it goes. So me being 5'8" and having my knee this high, look at that. If you're over 6 feet tall, this is not gonna work for you. Unless you're just using it as a cafe racer with your body back like this, and you're just using it as a moped. It's a good commuter for sure. All right, we're gonna pull in and try to go off-road a little bit. It's actually doing better than I thought. Oh, slippery. Very, very slippery out now. Okay, let's take a look at this in the snow. Okay, you can see we have about 4 to 5 inches of snow here. We're going to try to go off-road a little bit with this in the snow, but I'm telling you, this is primarily a commuter bike on road. Dirt roads, perfectly fine. Choppy roads, fine. Off-road, not so much. So let's give this a go. All right, we're going to take this off-road, and we're going to see how this does. Let me bring you back up. Very heavy, but the suspension is okay. Go nice and slow. Needs knobbier tires for pure off-road in the snow or in mud or dirt. But it works. Not great, but it works. We're gonna pull around here. Let's go talk about this for a minute. Okay. Not the most comfortable in the snow, for sure. You can see with our few inches of snow here, it is still a good bike on road for sure, but I feel uncomfortable driving this off-road, especially in the snow, because it doesn't have the knobby tires, or it's a little too heavy for having the suspension that it has. But on road, things perfect. On trail, okay. On dirt road, it would be totally fine. In snow, I would not recommend it. Clean off that seat. Let's come forward a little bit. Whoa. Static pegs would work better. I think this would benefit from a slightly larger motor with static pegs, and without the pedals. You can see it's wet. This thing's getting soaked. A lot of the snow's melting because it's like 50 degrees. Being 50 degrees outside, snowy, not the best thing on the planet. See, it's struggling to get up the hill. Simply does not have the power. Let me give my thoughts on this thing. All right, these are my thoughts on this bike. This is an excellent commuter bike. You can get to your destination without any trouble. If you wanted to commute a decent distance, let's say 20 miles a day or 40 miles a day with this, and you can deal with the 28-mile-an-hour speed limit, this is perfect. This is a great commuter bike on road and on dirt road. I would not recommend this off-road too much. Maybe on dirt trails and whatnot, just to get to a destination. But as a commuter, this is about the greatest thing ever. It's got your lights right here. You have your blinkers right here. You have your brake light. You have your blinkers in the rear. This thing is an excellent commuter. I think they wanted this as a design for a commuter bike. Although Varun reached out to me, they wanted to see off-road. I think the benefit of this being on-road far outweighs the benefit of being at off-road. Clearly, I was uncomfortable going in the snow or on trails, and it is not comfortable going on the snow or in trails. It is more comfortable on the road. What might benefit them, if you run out of battery, you can pedal. If they wanted a more off-road style bike, they wouldn't be in a cafe racer. It would be more handlebars up high, and it would have static pegs. This is an on-road bike, and don't mistake that. But yeah, awesome. For the price, under $1,000 as a commuter, that's what I would strictly say this is for. It's not overly comfortable as anything but an on-road bike, and that's why I knew right away when I saw this, I'm like, this looks like a cafe racer. This looks like it deserves to be on the street. And with its footprint, how much it weighs and everything like that, great bike for sure. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed that video. Let me know what you think about this thing. This is super unique, and I love reviewing super unique bikes. When it comes down to it, if there's a product that I think is different than the others, than you're atypical, I'll take it and I'll review it and I'll give my honest opinion on it. I think this is probably, as far as it goes with bicycles, I think this is a good try at something else, but I think it's lacking a lot. The only thing that I think it needs more than anything, if it's going to be an off-road bike, is the things I discussed. Better suspension, adjustable, it needs to be lighter. It can't have this huge, heavy system in here. It weighs more than like an E-Ride Pro. It weighs too much. This is designed specifically for an on-road bike and a commuter bike, and that's how this should be marketed. Is it the best commuter? Maybe. Just because of the size of the battery, it's not the most comfortable I've been on. I think regular handlebars work a little bit better, but I think this does have a place in the market for people who have long commutes that want to do it on an e-bike, or that live in a city and need to have something a little bit more compact, but they need to commute still 20 to 40 miles. Regular e-bikes may not be able to do that. Because of the size of this battery, I think it is worth it to give a commute for under $1,000. So price, it gets a thumbs up for me for price per buck. It doesn't get 2 thumbs ups. It gets 1 thumbs up for price per buck. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I appreciate that. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe for more content, and we'll see you in the next one. Take it easy, guys.